Hello, welcome back to the A Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Ameer Hamid. Joining me today will be Brant Dubois
What's up?
and Maurice Cesario.
Hey, how are ya?
Brant, can you hear us? Sorry, we can hear you now.
Yeah, you can hear me. I'm connected. We're good.
Audio
Yeah,
output
that's
is good.
Jeez, took us like an hour to set up. Brant to set up.
I mean, it didn't even take me that long to set up. It just took me forever to get the stupid mic connected. But we're here now, and that's all that matters.
Alrighty, boys. So it's I feel like I say it every time, but it's been a busy week.
It's always a busy week.
And nothing's going on though, like nothing at all. Just like the Leafs got a competent backup goalie who if something were to happen to Freddie,
he looks good.
They'd be okay.
He gives them a chance to win.
Yeah,
Wow.
You can keep them in a game like the Montreal game.
I was gonna say they won that, or they took that Montreal game to overtime, which realistically they shouldn't have, considering they didn't have a shot in the third period.
No, they had one shot.
One shot. Sorry, one shot in the third. Yeah. It was like early too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was the one goal by Tavares.
12-minute mark.
It was midway. It was like 15 minutes.
I thought the Tavares goal was in the second, wasn't it?
No, third.
Oh, okay.
It was their one shot in the third.
They went like 18 minutes without a shot. I thought it was all in the third. Either way, he kept them in that one, got them a point. He was incredible yesterday in that Arizona game. He looks like a starting goalie, man. He's not. He's not an elite starting goaltender. Like, he's not Freddie level, but like if Freddie goes down, I have confidence in him being able to hold down the fort.
Yeah,
it's nice. Like, can he be a Peter Grubauer level player?
Philip Grubauer?
Like whoops.
He might be Peter, but he could probably be Philip.
No, but like just be a competent goalie. Like, can you be close to Yaroslav Halak even? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
I think that's
like a viable 1B.
But I think that's like the upside of a guy like Jack Campbell. I think that's that's why like what he's done has gave me confidence. Like, in 2 years, Freddie's done in Toronto.
Yep.
That like because you have Campbell on an extra year, you get another meh goalie that you just signed to $3-4 million.
Yep.
For like on a prove it deal, and like find this year and last year's Robin Leonard.
Yep.
Go find that.
Yep. Tavares scored 1 minute and 6 seconds into that third period.
No, well.
So that was
here's the funny thing about Tavares quickly. Yep. I was over at my aunt's on the weekend, and my cousin was like, "Oh, Tavares, he needs to be better. He's not like the 40-goal Tavares." And then he goes on to score the winner.
Dude, he went on a tear. Like Twitter went all over it, and like I didn't even actually see any negativity on it, but everyone's like, "Oh, everyone's bashing Tavares." In
the last week, what does he have? 3 or 4 goals?
He's got like 5 goals in the last couple games. Like, he's been on fire.
An assist last night too. Like, the guy's just buzzing.
But back to Campbell, like you get traded here and you have to play a back-to-back, and even though like the first half of the back-to-back isn't great, the Leafs defense sucks so much that like
it's a lot of shots.
Exactly. And like the reason why I'm scared about the Leafs, and like we're gonna ask the question later, are the Leafs good? The fact that like in the third period, like they can just absolutely be like, we're just gonna take it all off,
turn off completely.
Exactly. Like I think it's a combination of just not trying on offense, like not taking chances on offense, but also they just want to cruise. Like, it's like what Muzzin said, like they want an easy game, like and you can't have that mentality, especially on this team.
Did you know the Leafs have only lost 2 games in regulation and 3 in overtime after leading after 2 periods?
Wait, say that again?
Like, as bad as they've been, when leading after 2 periods, they have 2 regulation losses and 3 overtime losses. That's it.
But how many overtime wins have they had to have?
How many
cubes have they're giving up a handful of points, but it's just like, it's funny to think, because like, they're blowing all these third periods, but they're really not blowing.
But they're still in it because they're getting like pity points and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know. But like, if you want to have long-term success, like
5 of 27 games now.
Yeah. Well, okay, going back to Campbell. The stat that was like bonkers to me was that his last 4 games have all went to overtime.
Yeah, going back to LA too.
Yeah,
every single one.
Because Arizona, Montreal, Anaheim, and then
Anaheim
last game in LA. Yeah,
he looks good. That's all that matters for me.
He gives you a chance, right?
Yep, that's all I need him to do. They're in a pretty shitty spot of their schedule. Like it was Anaheim, Montreal, Arizona, who doesn't score very much, Dallas, who hasn't scored very much. And then I think you have Buffalo in there somewhere.
Especially when you're like your team's getting the sick bug, not even like everyone's sick, like Tavares, Nylander, Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Should we also another part of the trade was Kyle Clifford. So to everyone that says Dubas doesn't like grinders, there you go.
He knows what he needs.
Yeah.
Like
I think he's a competent grinder. Like
he can skate. You're really smart defensively, and he can
took
skate.
a silly penalty yesterday with whatever it was, 11 minutes
almost
left,
almost identical to the one he took in, was it Montreal or Anaheim?
Anaheim,
where he was holding onto the stick.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Anaheim when he took Getzlaf off with him for nothing? Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
but there was one play he had where he was holding the stick down. It was like identical play, like just stupid, like wouldn't let go.
Well, especially in the offensive zone on a forecheck play like that, it's a silly play to make. But I mean, he brings a different element to the team that you don't really see on the other 3 lines. So I mean, I'm for giving that a try for sure.
I really don't care too much about a 4th liner on this team.
Well, I mean, okay, it does give you a guy that will hit people. But he's not a detriment anywhere.
No, he's not a difference maker on this team. So who cares? I just think it's a good pickup.
But he could be in ways like because of the extra intangible that he has.
Yeah, you fear him a little bit.
And also he's a veteran, which I think legitimately helps. That's been there.
And he's a Barrie kid, so like he grew up here and he loves to play here and he wants to be here, right? Like it's one of those things. And it's a good guy to have.
Crazy that like he got traded here and then I think it was his grandfather's funeral or something that he was attending.
Oh, really?
The reason why he didn't go to practice the other day. Yeah, that's what I had heard yesterday during the broadcast, which I was like, I didn't know that came out. But
didn't watch the broadcast yesterday. I was at the game.
Oh yeah, big. Yeah. Hey, can you do you see stuff differently from the ice?
Yeah, completely. But
really?
We don't need to get into that, man. The biggest thing on that though, like when you're at the game, if you watch Tyson Barrie, such a completely different player.
Yep, I'm good.
Yeah,
Tyson Barrie is a completely different player if you go to the game and watch what he does. Like I understand, trust me, dude, completely different every time I show up to those games. I'm like, man, he still doesn't play great defense. But
no, he doesn't play defense.
His offensive play,
he's positionally in the right spot.
His offensive play just put more on a showcase. I found that when I went. Like when Matthews had the puck, you knew Matthews was on the ice. Like it's just completely different when you see it there.
It's just one of those things too with Barrie. It's just like he opens up so many opportunities, and like people were bashing him for taking shots. It's like you see that shot he took last night, tips off behind him and he goes in the net. It's plays like those you need to make in order to open up opportunities for everyone else.
He kind of has like that he like skates backwards from like side to side when he's in the ozone with the puck and like he's just like sliding and gliding. It's pretty impressive.
So good.
But
I hate the Barrie hate. I'm not here for it. I will not stand for the Tyson Barrie hate.
I'm still kind of here for it.
Fine. He's the 5th highest scorer on the Toronto Maple.
I'd rather have him than Gardner. So I mean, you pick.
I'd see that. There's where I disagree. Okay, let's have this conversation then.
I'd rather have him than Gardner, and I own a Jake Gardner jersey. So
I think that Jake Gardner got flamed on. Jake Gardner is a better defenseman, like playing defense, than Tyson Barrie is. Stop it. You guys are wrong.
Okay, as much as I might agree with that, you are also getting 4 to 5 extra turnovers per game from Jake Gardner.
It's not that bad, but there are more key turnovers.
I'm 100% exaggerating, but when in the critical moments, he's gonna turn the puck over.
He had a couple of bigger turnovers than Barrie had. I think Barrie's in good defensive position for the most part. It's just like he's had some gaffes where it's like, dude, you got to be there. Mm-hmm. But like his transition game is incredible. The way he moves the puck is unbelievable. Like his shot selection isn't great, But the fact that he takes 400 shots from the point is making guys have to go to him, right? And when he picks up the puck at the point, if you're an opposing defender, you have to go to him. So he dishes off to Marner and Matthews because the Marner and Matthews is wide open across the ice, right? There's a reason this is Matthews' best season goals-wise. It's because he's opening shit up like that. He's got 22 goals, I think it is, since Keefe came back. And that's like, I think it's around the same time that Barry got put on PB1. Yeah. If it wasn't that game, it was the game before. Like, I don't think that's a coincidence.
I mean, he also got put with Marner, but
not on the power play though. He's got more power play goals than he did before.
All right,
I don't know.
So we're done talking about Jack Campbell. I think the better question is, are the Leafs good?
Yes. This is a stupid argument. Yep.
Are they?
Tell me why they're not.
They score at an elite pace. I agree there.
Okay.
I think that this is kind of the year from hell. I've been saying that for a while with the amount of injuries that they've had. Mm-hmm. And also I don't believe in their defense at all. It's not even the defensemen, it's the forwards playing defense.
Okay. I've said that for years. Like, the issue isn't we need more defensemen, it's that our forwards don't play defense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up. Give me a second.
And it's not even that like they don't all that like there's plays that Matthews makes, and I'm just like, wow, look at him he'll lose the puck, but then look at him hounding for the puck back. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's times where it's like he could not care less. Like, I want to say that there was a play yesterday. They were allowing a 2-on-1 after Matthews turned it over, and Matthews just didn't. He was like, oh wait, he waited like 2 seconds and then he started skating back. I was like, oh, thanks, dude. Like,
okay, so since Sheldon Keefe got hired, can you tell me?
No, I understand they're on a 102 point pace.
You tell me how many teams have more points than them?
Tampa Bay.
Yep, they have the most in the NHL since Keefe got hired. Boston is 3 points ahead of the Leafs.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying put them on the ice against these elite teams that they have to play.
The other two teams are Columbus and Pittsburgh, and I think we beat Columbus in that stretch. But it's just, I think it's a stupid argument. Like, yes, they're obviously good, man. They've had a couple of tough games where you're missing your number one defenseman, your starting goaltender who's kept you in most of these games, and then you've had injuries here and there to pretty much everybody else on the roster. Like, it's stupid. Leafs fans take this like we lose 2 in a row, and we didn't even lose.
And then the season's over.
We took an Anaheim team who we should have beat handedly, and they blew a lead. Okay, it happens. You don't have your starting goalie. You're missing a number one D-man. They won that game. They took a point against Montreal in a good game that they got outplayed in the third. It's like, these are 2 games that you got points from, and
no. It's not that they got outplayed in the third. It's that no one gave a shit.
They didn't show up in the third.
I just want to make this point. Like, I think there's 2 extremes with Leafs fans, and I think it's epitomized by what happened last Wednesday when the Leafs played the Rangers, where it's like they lost and they got smashed. It was brutal. Like, they were going in and they were just hammering shots. They were having their way, and it's like, screw this team. This team doesn't want to show up. What's going on with the team? Not an hour after the game, doesn't Dubas go and acquire Jack Campbell, and all of a sudden it's, wow, the Leafs are going to be great again. And I'm part of the problem, because I'm like that. It's like, wow, what the hell is this team? Like, what's the sense of direction with this team? They got to do something. And then they do it, and it's like, oh, well, now all the things is
to add to your point. Like, it was after the game, everyone's on Twitter, Keefe, Dubas, do something, and then they do something. And it's never enough for Leafs fans until they win the cup.
Like, I don't even know if that'll be enough. I feel like there's still going to be people who are like, okay, yeah, they won it, but they can't do it again.
Like, maybe it's Toronto sports, where like the Raptors had like that pessimism in the playoffs where everything is going to go wrong at some point, and then Leafs fans, it's just.
But they kind of earned it, right? They kind of earned it, because they made the playoffs, and it was just like they just can't win the big game.
There's 53 years of precedent that the Leafs have.
They have earned it. Teams have earned it in the regular. For the most part, they've earned it in the regular season. But to sit and look at this team who's made the playoffs 3 years in a row, who has almost an identical roster, or the core of the roster, most of the core of the roster is almost exactly the same, and you're going to tell me that this isn't a playoff team? Fuck off.
It is a playoff team. It's just,
but they might not make it. That's the thing.
Dude,
it's hard to excuse giving up points to a team like Montreal. I know you don't have Riley, and I know you don't have Anderson, but you still got to be winning games against Montreal when you have a third period lead, and then you don't put up a shot for the rest of the period. Right, like it's inexcusable.
Who do you fear that they're currently competing with right now in the standings?
Florida.
I don't. Bobrovsky's been dog shit, and that team is okay, but they're not. They're not.
You gotta ask me this question. You gotta ask me this question.
They just lost.
They have Mark Kissick
on forward.
Mark Kissick's playing out of his mind right now on that line.
The team just lost 4 in a row in 5 of their last 6 before winning last night.
It's not that I fear these other teams. It's that the other teams play in a weaker division to where they could get more points than the Leafs can.
But Florida's in our division. So.
No. When I mean that, I mean of the Blue Jackets, the Flyers, the Hurricanes.
Yeah. But do you think the Flyers are going to be able to have a good enough run that they're going to be their division's just as good as ours, if not better?
Well,
the top of ours is incredible. Like Tampa and Boston are 1 and 2 in the league, but they also had the Metro has Washington, they have Pittsburgh, Carolina's currently out of a spot and they're on pace to have 100 and something points. Columbus is gross this year. Merzlikins should be the Hart winner. Who else is in that division? Even the bottom, like the Islanders are in that division. They're still in a playoff spot. The Rangers are good.
The bottom of the division, the third spot.
They fell out into the wild card, but I think they're back in it. Who else is it? The only real non-worry is
the fact that the two wild card teams are coming from the Metro.
Yeah, it's a dogfight, man. I think Philly's gonna fall off at some point because they're not.
I don't think that you can feel comfortable with the fact that if you have to compete for a wild card spot, how can you feel comfortable with that?
Mm-hmm.
I want that wild card spot. I want Boston.
I know I want Boston as well, but I
don't want Tampa. I think we can beat Tampa. But
I think that we have a better chance against Boston, but are you picking the Leafs to beat Boston? I don't think so. Right now, you can pick them. As much as you want to look with Leafs leaf colored glasses? They're a better team than us, but I still think that we can beat them. It's
Boston? I think we're more complete.
7-30. It's 70-30, I think.
Yeah, I think we're a more complete team than they are. I know it sounds stupid to say because our defense is rough, but outside of their first line, I'm not worried about anyone.
I'd take the Leafs second line over the Bruins second line.
I'd take their second, third, and fourth line over every one of their lines. The D pairings are a little closer, but
I mean, Krejci and DeBrusk are good.
Yeah, but they're not Tavares and Nylander.
I agree.
Right.
What?
That's what I mean.
You mean Tavares and Zach Hyman?
That fucking line.
Zach Hyman, baby.
We go into that game yesterday, and I didn't see the line rushes because I was stopped on the subway and we were delayed to get there, so I didn't catch the line rushes before the game. And I sit down, and we got in there after because we missed the first goal because we were just getting in. I sit down, and they had the Tavares line out there. I'm like, Tavares, Kerfoot, and Hyman. I'm like, what in the fuck is this? This is the worst line of the night right now. There's you're giving them no one, and then they score both fucking goals.
They proceed to score both goals.
Shove my foot
in
down
regulation,
and away we go. I'm like, okay, great, cool. That makes no sense, but hey, I'm here for it.
I understand that Kerfoot has all these intangibles. I'm still not on Team Kerfoot.
Good hockey player. I think he's had some tough luck.
He's got good hockey IQ. I give him that. He's fast and he knows where to be.
Yeah, you can see the tools with him. He just
there's no results. There's no results.
That's what I mean. It's just weird.
I got one thing to say about
I want to love you,
and it's this.
He's a
Harvard grad, baby.
Brilliant.
Harvard grad.
Smart guy, smart hocky player. He's got the tools. It's just things aren't going his way, and it happens to guys that are second, third liners. I'm not that concerned with him.
He's not a center. He's a winger. But if he's not scoring on the wing, then what are you doing here, bud?
He's pretty defensively aware, and I think that's helped. It's helped that Tavares Nylander line when he was.
But a 5'10" defensive player,
look, he's not my guy on that line, so I put him down to the third, and I probably have Janssen up there. But
even him, he hasn't been great this year. Kapanen hasn't been great this year.
Yeah.
All in all, you got to move.
Kapanen yesterday sucked outside of that goal.
Yeah,
outside of that goal, he sucked.
Did you shot selection horrible? Shots all the time, dude. He'd pick up the puck and buzz, and then he'd get to the hash marks and take a shot. I'm like, what are you doing?
Sometimes can you just shoot a normal shot
just
and not
going? You're so much faster than the guy you're skating beside right now. Just burn him and go on net. I'm like,
this year, how many goals do you think Alex Kerfoot has in 16 games?
2 or 3?
I don't know, maybe 4.
Mora?
4.
One fucking goal.
Yeah.
Include in his last 29 games, he has 3 goals.
Woo!
In his last 38 games, he has 4 goals.
Woo!
I mean,
he had 4 goals in October in 14
what was
games.
your original question?
Are the Leafs good?
No, about Kerfoot. I thought you said it was for the year.
I like he's a good player, but
no,
like,
I thought you asked how many he has for the year.
Oh yeah. It was 1. From January.
Okay.
This
in
calendar
2020.
year.
I thought you meant in the season because I know in the season 3-ish.
Yeah.
No.
How many goals does he have on the season though? 4?
8.
8.
All right.
No, but no. He had 4 in October in 14 games.
Yeah, and then November hit.
He's had 4 goals since
November hit, and they hired Dubas, and they just stopped playing depth forwards. It's just like Matthews line, and that's it.
The second line.
He put him. Yeah, he wasn't before. He was, but he wasn't. He was with Tavares and someone else.
Yeah, I mean, if Hyman's the one putting the puck in the net and he's getting assists, I'm fine with that too. If it's going off his ass and it's going in the net and Hyman's getting it, it doesn't matter to me how it's going in.
Hyman frustrates me because that guy has 0 hands. Like he cannot do a damn thing with the puck, but he has so many goals.
Because he tries so hard, he's going to score.
He's such a perfect third liner. And this is my thing with him is that like he's an incredible third liner because he grinds so hard.
I do wish the Leafs had like a third line of Hyman, insert center, Connor Brown, and then just go.
That'd be good.
And then,
well, I feel like Kerfoot's kind of Connor Brownish. I feel like Kerfoot and who the hell is not Spezza. I think Spezza would be fun on second left wing right now. That guy is flying, dude. He's one of the best skaters on the team right now.
It is crazy.
It's nuts. I mean,
that goal he had against Anaheim.
He shouldn't be considered for that role, but like he looks so good.
He could still skate with the puck through the neutral zone. It's crazy.
It's nuts. That shot he took against Anaheim too.
So me and Mauro were talking about this before when you were having your mic troubles. Yeah. I love Zach Hyman. He can be a top 6 player on this team, just not on right wing. You put him on the left side. You put him with whichever line. I don't give a shit. You put Nylander back on right wing. And then I think you got to get Janssen going. I think you got to bring him up on one of those lines and put him there and put Kerfoot on the third.
Honestly, I don't like Hyman up there. Like for me, I do Janssen, Matthews, Marner, and then Nylander, Tavares. You can give them Hyman. I don't really think you need to because I think Tavares is really good at getting the puck. So I'd put Hyman third line.
See,
and then
if you have Hyman on that line, you'd make Tavares not have to go get the puck, and then he scores.
Yeah, but he's scoring now.
He's scoring because he has Hyman.
He has
Hyman to go get it.
Hyman's the one that catches the puck. He gets it to Tavares, who does all his work in the low block.
Yeah,
he either scores from there or he sets somebody up. Like it's working.
Also, the most bonkers thing about the Leafs is the fact that the spot where Nylander's scoring from. Yeah. And the people are like, oh, Nylander's a soft forward and he's playing down by the net. And like when Tavares
he leads the league in goals in that trapezoid.
Yeah. And when Tavares was told that Nylander's going to be on his line, he's like, yeah, just go in front of the net. And it's like, what? Telling a Swede to go? Like, it's bonkers the fact that that's where he's legitimately having success. And then you go tell him to play left wing on the first line. I'm like, I think that's a move that you make during the game to spark the team. And when you have possession of the puck and you're just like, go. It's
as cool as it was. That line sucked yesterday.
They had one chance, I think.
Matthews had a couple, but he earned them himself. Like it was him just busting through defensemen and getting a shot off. It wasn't like that line set anything up. It didn't work.
So if the Leafs are going to improve, and I think that you always have to be trying to improve, where are they improving?
I don't know.
I think it's just their defensive play. Their defensive play in
It has to be internal, but also, let's talk about Travis Dermott.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. Like, you know what needs to improve is Travis Dermott because he's frightening right now.
He might be the odd man out right now.
I don't know how that kid doesn't catch more flack. He's so much worse than Barry in ours.
Okay, that's the full send line.
But
Barry and Dermott, the full send defense pairing.
It's literally what it is. But
I'm also like, Dermott, he's in a tough spot right now, having to actually be the first pairing defenseman, which he's obviously not. Yeah, right now they have Dermott Barry listed as the first pairing, which yikes. Like Muzzin Hall, fine, whatever, cool. And Muzzin also recently hasn't been great.
He's not been great either. Yeah. He's been good, just not.
He did
great.
Okay yesterday. I mean,
he leveled Kasha.
He makes some. He made some turnovers that, like, I think it was the Montreal game that he turned the puck over and led to a goal.
Last night too, he just like went to pass the puck and it just went. Bleh.
Oh
yeah. Like there's Marner made some like lollygagging plays where I'm just like, what are we doing?
He's silly on the puck sometimes, but
he goes through these spells where it's just like, what the fuck happened to you? And then he'll just do some really cool shit, and you're like, oh right, that's why we pay him 11.
But if we're talking about like, okay, least trade for a defenseman, I would rather, if Dermott's the package going back, I would rather that than Sandin. Like like for fuck's sake, like I think there's
more value to Travis Dermott than Sandin right now.
I disagree with that.
I don't know. I think he's more
like he has 2 more years at minimum at league min.
You see the tools with. I guess he's an RFA at the end of the year, right? It's Dermott.
Yeah.
Maybe that. I don't know. I just think you see the tools. He's older. He's more established. He's had NHL time. You see that he can be an NHL defender. I don't think he can be a shutdown guy, but he can be a really good puck mover. I don't know. I give him a little more value right now.
Need that right now?
No. This is why I'm not opposed.
I think the most puck moving D-men you can actually have on your team is 4. Legitimately, okay, because you look. That's what I mean. Like I'm being high. Like that's nice.
I like 3. If you have 3 good puck movers, and right now we have
Barry, Riley, Sandy, done.
Yeah. Right now we have 5 puck moving defensemen, and what's his name, Muzzin.
And you can't have that on, like, that definitely has to play into like factor in when you're saying the least defensive suspect because of the way that they play inherently, like the prototype defenseman that they are. And I think Dermott's the odd man out. Like, I don't think he's untouchable, but also like, who the fuck are because the only way Dubas would trade Dermott is he's getting a defenseman with term on him. And who's that guy out right now? My boy made a big play, a dirty play yesterday that I liked.
Dumba?
Yeah. Did you see that against Ryan Reeves?
Missed it. Ryan.
So Reeves had like a questionable hit on Dumba's like head, and then Dumba slashed Reeves in the balls.
Jesus.
He got fined $5,000 for it.
Yeah,
he didn't get suspended for it, which I was like, oh, cool. Like Manson's obviously a great fit, but like
UFA, right?
No. He's got 2 years left.
Did you?
But like, it would cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, I know that. And
I don't think
is Manson that good?
I don't think he's that good.
That's what I
don't think he's like watching him the other day. I'm like, he's okay.
All right,
but there's a reason why the Ducks suck, and if he's the number 1 D-man,
So I was listening to Puck Soup, the pod with Merrick, and then it's like Down Goes Brown and Ryan Lambert. So they were talking about like potential trades for the Leafs for D-men, and I would love it, but they would have to retain it 50%. It would just have to be an absolute like, we're blowing it up. We need to get this guy out of there. The highest upside guy that can be gotten is probably PK. Like legitimately,
I'm out.
I understand. No, I understand.
I know what Ameer's saying. I know what Ameer's saying. Like you're buying him right now at extremely low value, where he can then have such a high upside. I wouldn't want him just because of that cap hit. Obviously,
I
wouldn't want to even go close.
Hold on. Let me just like go. So if they retain a 50%, that's a 4.5 cap hit. Manageable. That's a manageable cap hit, though.
Not on this team. It's not.
I mean, would you rather have PK or Muzzin on a new contract?
Muzzin.
PK just is by doing the style of play, Muzzin.
Okay, but here's the reasons for optimism with
Subban
bringing PK here.
Yeah,
would I like PK 5 years ago?
Coaches, the Leafs skating coaches can legitimately improve guys skating.
Right.
Who was it that's the like figure skater that's with the Leafs with the Marlies? Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the one thing with PK right now that's just not up to snuff. I looked at his numbers. He's not as bad as people think he is right now. And like, if out of all the guys, love me some Dumba, love Josh Manson, but like out of all the guys, the highest upside still is PK if he can get back to what he was. And I don't think that's
Norris candidate.
I don't.
He's the only one on the market that almost won a Norris, or might have won.
He won.
Well, he did win a Norris.
So he's the only Norris winner that's on the market.
Yeah. The
problem is he's not. I don't think he can get back to that level. I don't think he's anywhere close right now to that level. That even it'd have to be an off-season trade. Like I don't think anybody's trying to do this.
It's tough to make that much of a turnaround mid-season. I agree.
Can we agree that he's an offensive defenseman? Right?
No, agree. Yeah,
right.
He is.
Do you know how many points he has this year without looking?
No, it's dog shit. I know.
Maybe 12.
He's got 12.
Wow, what a guess.
He's got 12 points, 6 goals, 6 assists.
But it's the same thing with Dumba, right? Like Dumba's had such a shit year too, and the only reason you could legitimately get him right now is because he's having such a down year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with PK a little. Like
it depends. See, for me, it's what are you trying to make this move for? Like, is this for the future? Or is this for now? You're trying to push for the cup.
How much longer is PK's contract?
3 years. 3 years. It's not awful. It's not great. Like you're like, if it's 2 more years, then that's fine. 3,
but it's frightening because if this doesn't work next year,
I'm not saying.
Then you're like, yikes.
I'm not dying on this hill here, but I'm just saying like, if in trades that like scenarios, it's not egregious to have the conversation.
I'm not opposed to picking up a guy that's a UFA at the end of the year because you blow up the rest of your defense at the end if this doesn't work because you have 5 UFA defensemen. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that because then you can just rebuild this defense how you want it. And there's some names on there's some names in the market if you want to include Pietrangelo.
That's not happening.
You could make it work is the thing. It's like if you maneuver the cap enough, you have Sandin and Liljegren on your second pair. Mm-hmm. Riley, Pietrangelo, and then Hall's at a $2 million deal, which is nothing. And then you fill in one more $2 million guy, and you're back at the cap, but it fits because you don't have any UFAs up front other than Clifford. Which I don't like Pietrangelo move.
Yeah, I don't like him that much either, and I think he's 29. And
he's from Richmond Hill. Grew up a Leaf fan.
King City, baby. Actually,
King City.
Okay, sorry,
Thank
King
you.
City. Grew up a Leaf fan.
Yeah.
So a lot of.
But also, he has it good in St. Louis. They're winning. Like,
would he come here on a reasonable?
He's not happy there. He'd be re-signed if he was happy there.
I mean,
they also gave a lot of that money to Justin Falk already.
Exactly, they might not be able to pay him. Is their issue there? He's won his cup.
My thing is, what are the chances he comes to Toronto on a contract that's reasonable in terms of both cap hit and term?
What do you think he goes?
I think that.
What do you think he goes for?
See, what did Yossi just get?
9.
9, I think,
somewhere around there.
It was a lot. It wasn't.
I remember level. I was the one that said Pietrangelo gets more than Yossi, so I'm gonna stick to that.
And I laughed at you.
I'm sticking with it now.
Now you're hopeful. You're hopeful.
9. But it's the fact that Nashville's no tax, right?
Yeah.
So I see. Okay, so my argument against a guy like Pietrangelo is the fact that I think you can only have one long-term bad-ish contract on a big cap hit, and that's going to be Tavares eventually. Like the last 2 years of Tavares' deal is probably going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $10 million cap hit. Like, I don't think that you can have both Petro and him at the same time at that time. When at that time you're going to need to re-sign Matthews, Nylander, Marner. Like, I think that's irresponsible to do that. If it's like a 7-year term, like, I don't think it's smart.
I think he also helps you win in the next 4 years that they're here. And if you don't win something in the 4 years that he's here, you probably need to retool anyways. And if you lose one of the big four up front, it's like, okay, we need to do something differently.
I think we're going to see like how much is Dubas's job on the line, like Friedman said, and I don't think it should be like Friedman said, if he trades for like guys now, like that he needs now, opposed to long term, because like I think it's a joke that the fact that you could even have the conversation that Dubas could be on the hot seat. Like I think he should at least have 2 more years, at least.
Yeah.
Like next year should be like his 1 year, like alone, don't touch it. And then the next year, if it's not going well during the year, then fine, whatever. I think that'd be dumb, but
did Torrey Krug hasn't re-signed yet, right?
No, but
Torrey Krug's a free agent.
He doesn't play. He's Jake Gardner, except better.
Yeah, well, better's good. TJ Brody, Chris Tanev.
Tanev like fell off a cliff in the last 2 years, man. From like not staying healthy and
Hamonic, Brendan Dillon, the guy that everyone's trying to go after
as
for the
a
most
third
part.
pairing guy, whatever, fine.
Like there's some names, man. You could create a good defense out of what's here. Kevin Shattenkirk,
but I think they're still looking at like a first pairing guy, and I don't think that there's really.
I don't think you could
a
get
guy
it
out
through
there.
Free agency. It'd be more through the
chance.
trade.
Yeah,
and through like the names, obviously you've mentioned them, Dumba.
Yeah, it's
Subban if you want. In a position to move, but I like the name Theodore.
Shea Theodore in Vegas.
Oh, Jose Theodore.
Yeah. Former Hart Trophy winner, Jose Theodore.
Yikes!
I know they're in a wild card spot and they're competing, but like at 5.2, like he's the guy I'd love to go out and get. I don't think they're right in the mix. They're in the mix in the wild card. So I don't see them being a seller, but
that entire division is in the mix in that.
Yeah,
race,
that's the only problem.
Yeah,
but I mean, of the other guys, like you mentioned, like I'd still want Dumba over Subban. Like I know, whatever, he's got the higher upside, but like
I agree.
You got to look like 2 years from now. Like I'd still want Dumba 2 years from now than Subban 2 years from now.
There's a better chance of Dumba being good in 2 years as opposed to Subban.
Better than Subban in 2 years, right? So that's the only thing. But I'd definitely look at Subban if the price is right. I mean, yeah, if you're getting him on a half deal like that where they're retaining 50%,
you get off CC.
Yeah, for real.
All right. Brand, what would the deal have to be that you would take Subban on? 50% retain.
You have to take CC, but I don't know why New Jersey would do any of that.
Why wouldn't they do any of it? Because they want to get off of $4 million of Subban.
I know, but what you getting off? Yeah.
They're going to get off of Simmons at the end of the year on his contract. Too. Yeah. They're going to open up a lot of cap space.
Doesn't Simmons have a year after this or no?
No. It was a 1 year deal.
It was a 1 year trial. Yeah. Oh, shit. I did have one other point I wanted to bring up to you guys. So my cousin was telling me, he's like, so apparently in one of the cup runs of the Blackhawks, Patrick Kane was injured. And they held him out.
Yes,
they held him out from the entire season.
Okay.
And they can do that with Riley this year, where they basically
can do that with CC also.
They milk him with his LTIR. CC, you hold them out. So, it's all barring on the fact whether or not they're in a competitive enough spot to do it, where they need
in
Riley
a safe enough spot to where they can hold him out still. All right. So basically, I think Calgary was thinking of doing this last year with James Neal, to where if they brought him back, they would be over the cap before the playoffs. But if they brought him back during the playoffs, then it'd be fine. But I think he forced them to bring them back during the year or something. Mm-hmm. So more you got the gist of
I got the gist of this. So essentially,
I'm talking about Brink, like because I know the situation.
Yeah, I've seen the Patrick Kane situation a lot.
It's
but I wasn't sure what it was.
So the least, I think CC's played his last game, to where they'll do this either with CC.
Robidas Island.
They'll do this. They'll do this with CC either by trade, or they'll do this rule to him, to where if they need him in the playoffs, they bring him back. Then
they call him back up when they need him.
And
from that
when
point
they have
on,
this
still saving the 4.5 in cap space.
And then if you need to make a move, he's the guy that goes. But with Riley, I think if you're in a dog race, you have to have.
You're gonna have to bring him back eventually.
I don't think that you have the luxury because of your play this year.
If you pick up 6 points on Florida right now in the next few games, you don't really give a shit, because now you're 8 points.
I think
clear.
It's all based on where are you at the trade deadline, And if you can, because if you can combine Riley and Cece's money, that's $8 million. Who's out there making $8 million that can legitimately help this team enough to?
No,
I know that contract is bad.
Drew Doughty,
I know. I just said it because of the sake of saying it. It's not happening, but
10 for the next 100 years or something like that.
I know.
It would here's the thing.
A little.
Here's the thing.
No,
it's just a reason for why the NHL is bullshit in having a salary cap.
Loopholes are everywhere, man.
Why can't they have a system to where baseball is and you have a tax?
Luxury tax?
Yeah,
that just makes too much sense.
Because the league is better if teams are paying more money. Because then there's more money going around. What's the point?
There's a reason why this is the least valued league of the 4.
Exactly.
They're not good. They're not a good business. It's one of the better sports to watch, but they're just horrible as a business.
Why the Leafs were valued at 1 billion, the Raptors were valued at 2.1 the other day. So and the number one franchise in the NHL versus the number 10 in baseball.
Montreal and New York are both ahead of
Toronto?
Yeah. I know the Rangers were at like 2.
The Leafs are 2 on Forbes, and
the Rangers used to be 2.
I would assume it's the Rangers that's 1 because the Knicks are 1 in basketball. So it's tough because there's no one out there that's available. Like right-hand D is legitimately the most coveted position in hockey outside of like a first line center. And I where's the guy?
Yeah.
Where's the guy
there's not enough out there. I honestly just let this team run. Unless you find an incredible deal at the deadline that you're like, okay, yeah, that'll help the team. But I don't see a lot out there that's going to help the team.
Kerfoot,
I don't think Josh. Sure.
Kerfoot.
The biggest name that's going to help you defensively is Josh Manson, and that's where your issues lie right now in the defensive side of the game. And what do you got to give up for Josh Manson? I don't think it's worth it.
Also, like you put a guy like Manson or Dumba in here, and it's also the difference is not only that player over his replacement, but also the drop off from the player that you're taking out of your forwards. Like, I don't think it's as steep as the improvement. So I think it's still worth it to do a trade like that, in my opinion. Like, because they have guys in the Marlies and like that's lower in their lineup that can play third line minutes or fourth line minutes. Like, so that's why I would still tend to move towards still make a move for one of those guys. But if they don't, like, this team can't win a cup. So why are we even like?
Any team can win a cup. Any team in the playoffs could go on a 4-series run and win a cup if they have the right goaltender. And Freddie could be that guy at his peak.
Jack Campbell could be that guy.
Jack Campbell looks like that guy right now. There's, I don't know. Any team that makes it has a shot. And I think lots of teams have shown that in the past. LA did it as the worst seed in the thing. The best teams don't normally win is kind of the.
When's the last time that the best team won? Like it's been a while. It wasn't Tampa last year. It wasn't the Caps. In recent years, who's it been? Like
it hasn't been a President's Trophy winner in a long time.
It's a curse in the way. Was that the last time?
I think.
Were they the President's Trophy?
Mike Babcock. Yes, sir. Good coach.
I want to say it. I know it was the Red Wings. I forget what year.
Because wasn't it 08? And then when was the previous one? Wasn't it like 90s? Red
Something
Wings?
like
No.
Maybe. I think it was the 90s, but
yeah.
My phone's taking its sweet ass time.
Regardless,
we got a lot.
Last Leafs thing, since there's no fix for the defense, other than their actual players playing better. The Pierre Engvall extension is nice.
Yeah,
2 years, 1 point something AAV.
1.2.
I think it's a lot.
You think that's a lot? Oh, No.
Nope.
No. Goodbye, Brant. I don't know. I like the extension. I think that it's not a lot of money.
I don't mind
I think
it at
Brant
all.
was
Yeah.
Brant has a vendetta against Josh Manson. Or not Josh Manson. See, I don't be talking about him so much. Pierre Engvall. What was your thoughts, Brant?
I think it's a lot of money to give a guy who's played.
There we go.
It's a lot to give a guy who's played 40 games in the NHL. Personally, I would have given him a 1-year deal.
It's not that much of a raise, though. It's not that much of a raise, though.
It's 300,000.
When you're this close to the cap, though, it's like, I don't know. That's 300.
But for a guy that showed you that he can play third line center in a pinch, like, I thought that was. I
don't think he's been a very good centerman. No, I'm not as high on Pierre Engvall as a lot of other people are.
I don't know. I like him.
I haven't seen much out of him other than the fact that he tries hard, and I think he's got that Leaf fan. He's got that attitude that Leaf fans love. He tries real hard, and he's good on the penalty kill, and Leaf fans seems to love that. But like, he doesn't do much with the puck.
I think his contract's going to be more reasonable than Ilya Mikheyev's next contract.
I'm interested to see what that one turns out. I think it should be in this range.
Between one,
maybe less.
Between two, like at most two.
I wouldn't give him that. You can't.
No, I agree.
You're now handing a lot of these $1-2 million contracts to guys that some of them are going to have to be on the fourth. And I don't want my fourth line guys making $200,000 or $2 million.
23 points in 39 games. Like
Mikheyev did.
Yeah, it's good numbers.
But he also went on a stretch where he was horrible.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. But
I don't know. I thought that it was completely reasonable because, like, you saw Trevor Moore get paid league min. Like, I think he's a better player than Trevor Moore, in my opinion.
I think they're about the same, personally.
It's interesting. He's got 14 points in 35 games.
Yeah, it's good.
7 goals, 7 assists.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. A lot of goals. All right, let's move on. What else do we have in the NHL? Quickly.
Jay Bouwmeester.
Oh, that was interesting. That was frightening.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. Have you seen the video?
Yeah, I saw him falling over, and then everyone's like, "Get over here!" Oh, yeah.
It's a scary situation to watch. Obviously, hopefully he's progressing well right now. Apparently things look good.
So that he's doing well in the hospital and that he's responsive and whatnot. So
yeah, that's wild though. Just to think for someone of that athletic stature to go into cardiac arrest, just kind of shows you it can happen to anyone. It really doesn't matter. It's that's wild. It's crazy. Human body's fucked.
It's scary, but there's been a lot of people that have come out in support of him. I thought all the teams tweeting out their support and their well wishes. That was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a shitty situation. Jack Eichel is legitimately incredible this year. And he's is this his 4th or 5th year? 5th?
One more. How many McDavid?
This would be his 4th.
No,
2015, 16.
No, 5th.
This is Matthew's 4th. This is Jack's 5th
year.
This is his 5th year, yeah.
5 years, no playoffs.
Team sucks. Organization sucks.
The organization is in shambles.
When does Jack Eichel get traded to his San Jose, a la Joe Thornton? Even though Boston was Boston bad then? I don't know, but
they were okay, but
they were all
but
right.
Did I can't remember the whole Joe Thornton Boston fiasco, but did he want out or Boston just traded him?
I think Boston just traded him. If I'm not mistaken.
I think he wanted out, but it wasn't like Danny Heatley-esque where it's trade me now.
Yeah.
Where is Jack Eichel?
He needs to get out of there.
Where is Jack Eichel finishing this contract on?
I'd let you know in 2 years when he gets traded.
Well, you also said Matthews would be traded in.
Yeah, I didn't say he traded. I said his next contract would be. Maybe.
Well, no, you said he wouldn't be on the Leafs in 4 years. You said this 2 years ago.
Because I figured he would have taken a 3-4 year bridge or whatever it would be.
Yeah, well,
and he didn't. So thank you, Austin. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just making you look bad. I'm trying to think of like where if Eichel goes to the Bruins, fuck my life.
They can't afford that.
That wouldn't happen.
Not anytime soon, anyways. They need some cap off, or they need some numbers off that cap before they
Krejci's and Backus's contract before they want to start signing any player.
Well, they would trade.
We're trading for it. Yeah, that's a big trade to make. That's tough.
We'll give you.
They don't really have the prospects either.
Charlie McAvoy.
Buffalo needs like 7 firsts.
Buffalo's not a good organization. So.
No, they suck. They're garbage. I saw a Buffalo fan trying to chirp the Leafs for being a dog shit organization. I'm like, dude,
hey,
what have you guys done right in 20 years?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Brett Hull's foot was in the crease, all right?
That's it. That's the only time things have ever been positive there. And yeah, no.
They should have won the cup if it wasn't for that foot.
Last thing, in 31 Thoughts, I saw that the Winnipeg Free Press's Mike McIntyre had a rumor last week that involved Kyle Connor and Bowen Byram. And it was Connor for Bowen Byram and Vladislav Kamenev. Wasn't he part of the Sens? Yeah. He was part of the Sens trade for Duchesne, right?
The Duchesne deal, yeah.
Yeah. So
this is the house money that
it was denied when Friedman looked into it, but I was like, that trade doesn't make any sense because Colorado needs a young D-man like Byram to go along with it because Byram, he's not as offensive as Makar, right?
No,
like
he's good, but he's not.
He's more of a two-way guy.
There's
right?
not a lot of guys that are Makar though, so I mean.
But also, like as you take him as the first defenseman in a draft, I assume that he's going to be a first pairing D-man. Right, like that level player,
close to it, if not.
Like not fully offensive, but a solid two-way guy.
Exactly. And Kyle Connor, who's like scoring 30 goals every year now. Apparently,
you don't need more offense if you're Colorado. Am I wrong?
No,
like not really. Like
a second line of Kyle Connor and Kadri would be pretty sick.
Yeah, and then Nemesnikov. No.
No.
What's it? Burakovsky. Russians. Burakovsky's been good.
I know.
Yeah.
Jonas Donskoy.
Strange.
Did you guys see the chirp that Kadri had on Brandon Montour? You're a shitty defenseman on a shitty fucking team.
I love it. That's the part of Kadri I miss.
Yes.
That's the only thing I miss from that trade. But, all right, let's get to a different sport. We've been on this a lot.
All right. The Raptors can't lose, but they're losing right now by 12 at halftime. But like,
what? Oh, I didn't even look.
Yeah.
They're always losing at some point. I don't think they've had a game in this stretch where they weren't losing by like double digits.
The last 5 games it's been on life support. But it's
that
been
Pacers
what?
Game, the first Pacers game?
Oh,
nuts.
Down 19?
Nuts. Absolutely insane. It was like they were down 10 with like a minute left.
It's that when I say it, like I tweeted out the other day, I'm like, I'm not afraid anymore to say this team is it's a way more likable season than last year. Like, and it's not even close.
It's because your number one guy isn't a robot, I think.
It's also that you're not worried about the number one guy leaving. Like I felt all like stressed all of last year.
It was fun, but you knew it was coming to an end at some point.
Yeah. And this year it's all house money. And it's awesome.
Yep. I don't give a shit if they win the championship again. Who cares? We got it.
They defended the title properly because they're still in championship contention. And the fucking US media talks more about a scarf than they do about the Raptors won a title.
Yeah.
No. Forget the team doing well this year. They talked more about the scarf in the last week than they did when they won the title. Because it was all, Anthony Davis is now on the Lakers.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Well, it's fun.
All-Star Weekend is this weekend, and it's Tampering Weekend because Giannis is going to be coached by Nick Nurse and going to have Pascal and Kyle in his ear. So he's coming to the Raptors. Confirmed. And he's thinking about Fred. He's thinking about Fred because he said, now that he's got a kid, maybe my shooting will get better like Fred did.
He's just obsessed.
Yeah, he just really wants to be a Raptor.
He can't stop thinking about the Raptors.
Mm-hmm. So
I doubt it, but it'll be fun.
I'm not ruling it out. I think it's 3 teams that have a chance at him.
Mm-hmm.
It's Toronto, it's Milwaukee, obviously, and I think it's Miami.
Okay,
Miami.
I'd like it. That'd be worth it. It'll be fun. Pascal's in the skills relay, right?
Yeah, the skills competition. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
They do it where it's like bigs against bigs, and then guards against guards, and then in the final they face the winner of the guards and the winner of the bigs. Play each other. Last year, the big Jason Tatum won. Jason Tatum's a big. He's like 6'9", but he plays like small forward.
Yeah,
chill.
Frightening when 6'9". That doesn't look big.
Yeah.
Yikes.
What else is there to talk about? Okay, here's a funny story. Well, funny and also awesome. So Dwayne Wade was coming out in support of his trans child.
Mm-hmm.
I think her name is now Zaya, which cool. Like he talked about it a couple weeks ago also, but like now it was in the news a lot.
Okay.
And I thought it was awesome the fact that like he's openly like supportive of his kid. Yeah. And I thought there was this video of Zaya talking about like how of like the decision to like come out and like be an advocate for it, and she sounded like the most intellectual 12-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Like I'll send you guys the video after. It was legitimately incredible. She's just like, why? It's like you're saying hello to yourself for the first time, and you're just like, and I was just like, why wouldn't you want to be like true to yourself? Like, it was and then people on Twitter just went to like openly bash Dwayne Wade like for supporting his child's decision. And I thought
there's going to be people
in the last week when you've had
so much
all these people tweeting out #GirlDad because of Kobe, and then the week after you're just bashing Dwayne Wade for supporting his child. Like I think it's just a stigma that like people have had for the longest time that like needs to stop. Like let me know if you guys have been in this situation to where like when you were growing up, did you not have conversations with your friend? It's like, oh, if my kid was gay, blah 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 blah, like insert negative.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
it's
growing up, I was a stupid kid.
No, but like what I mean is like it's a constant. It's like a thing that's been engraved in our minds, and
it's
like
a taboo kind of thing to think about. Like that's kind of what's been instilled for this entire generation, right? And that's what we're trying to get past.
It was a very different time, not that long
and that's
ago.
why I think it's awesome to have an advocate like Dwayne Wade and his daughter for like people that are legitimately reputable and or like notorious people coming out and supporting,
especially in the sports world, because like there's not a lot of support in the sports world where like. Because a lot of people bash trans people in sports because like you see all those really stupid headlines where like someone goes trans and dominates like the women's side of the sport.
Yeah, it's like let me go trans and go dominate.
Like stupid. So like to have someone like D Wade who's a prominent voice in a pretty big sport when it comes to this stuff, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that because I think it's worthy of talking about.
Yeah.
Also, Zion is absolutely tearing the league apart, but also no one's noticing
because they
suck. And like so, Zion debuts in the same week of Kobe's passing, and
it's just been a rough time.
And so it was never really mentioned, but also like he hasn't had that one jaw-dropping play. He had that one play where he just stole the ball from Giannis, which was incredible.
Didn't he have that alley-oop too?
The half-court one from Lonzo, but like. I think it's wild that the kid is averaging 21 points, 7.7 rebounds, 2 assists, a third of a block
in 27 minutes.
40% from 3, which like everyone was like, oh, that's the part he needs to improve most.
In 27 minutes.
Yeah. I'm like, if this kid could stay healthy, it's not a doubt whether or not he's going to be special. He just is, because the most incredible thing that I see, like I watched the highlights of last game. I think he had 31 points and like 7 or 9 rebounds. It's his second jump that's legitimately insane. Like I've never seen someone be able to. So he puts up he jumps to put up a shot, and then before the guy comes, like the rebounder comes down from his jump, he's got his second jump already up and he's past you. I think it's legitimately incredible. And I don't, because John Morant's been so good for Memphis, he's probably the rookie of the year, but it's going to be interesting.
It's more of a race than it would have been.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
Let's go to baseball. So pitchers and catchers are reporting this week.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What a great time of the year.
Yeah, we're 3 days away from everyone reporting or something like that?
I think tomorrow the Jays are reporting though. Like they're having their first workout.
Yeah. 3 days away from like the entire league being
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think this is going to be a really interesting year because of like the stuff that's went on in Boston and Houston.
Yeah.
And it's like
how many Houston guys are going to get dinged in the dome 7 times a game?
Oh, I can't wait. So I was listening to Jeff Passan was on Ryan Russillo's podcast and he was basically like, the Astros, whatever park they go into this year, they're getting like Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire level boos, like, and it's not even going to be close.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be awesome, and like the whole, what was it, Mike Bosinger, the former Jay?
Yeah, he's suing them now.
Yeah, that's.
But he's not suing them for money for himself though, right? He's suing them.
I don't know. I
think he's suing them and that for their playoff shares, so then that goes to charity or something.
Oh, that's for all the money they made because of the playoffs that year. He wants that to go to charity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good cause.
I like that.
No, it's
not as if he's doing it in spite of his career. It's kind of like, okay, well,
his career would not have went very far after.
Yeah,
he wasn't very good.
He was like he's one of those arms where the like he comes up from AAA or AA during the year because you need an arm. Yeah.
He showed flashes where I'm like, oh, Bolsinger's pretty good, and then there's times where I'm like, oh, send him down.
Yeah.
Good. He got like what knocked for like 4 or 3 earned runs and like a third of an inning against them. It was
more than that.
It's not even that. It's that in the third of an inning that he was in, there was either
it's like 27 bangs,
like 3 balls,
21 bangs. Bangs, like, are you fucking kidding? Of the trash can, like that's insane.
But like 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 hits. It was like something stupid, or I don't even remember.
It's not the result; it's the fact of how many times they cheated during that game.
Poor guy. That's so tough.
So I don't blame him.
Like, I'd be pissed.
And the fact that the players got immunity, I still think is an absolute joke. I think what they did is worse, is on par with like a steroid suspension.
Did you see they're trying to blame it on Beltran?
Well, I mean, he is the scapegoat in this.
Yeah, they're like, but they're straight up saying like, oh, we had no choice because of his stature.
I'm like,
fuck off.
Yeah,
you can be a narc in some scenarios.
Yeah,
like fuck,
get out of here. That's a joke. All of those guys were established at that point. It's not like you're just like nobodies who just came in the league. Like you've been there for time for the most part. Fuck out of here.
My biggest thing with this whole scandal is the Astros were the most pretentious, stuck-up team in the league, and then when it happened, they have nothing to say.
Yep.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I hated it.
And like Alex Cora talking shit about Stroman. I'm like, fuck out of here, bro. Like, what?
You have no right, man.
Exactly.
Alex Bregman's interview was the most painful thing I've ever watched. I've never hated him until that moment.
I didn't need to hear it because I knew what he was. He wasn't gonna. He's like when it's good, like he was all fun with the media, and then when it's bad, it's like one word, like sentence, like and it's over. Like
they did their reports, and what they found was what they found.
Yep.
Like
he was giving the same. He was giving the same response for every question. Like
it was a Marshawn Lynch interview. It was a Marshawn Lynch interview.
Except it was a serious fucking topic.
Yeah, it's something you don't joke about.
And as we've seen, Marshawn can legitimately be a thoughtful individual. Take care of your mind. Take care of your chicken.
Good guy.
Like
good guy, just hated the way the NFL ran its media thing. That was all it was.
Yeah.
This is just Bregman being a piece of shit.
Yep.
Which I knew he wasn't a great person before, because like he kind of seems like an asshole, but like this is just like openly like, dude, grow a spine. Brutal.
Yep.
Hate him. Yep.
Agreed. I think that's a joke. What was the situation with Reese McGuire? He couldn't keep his dick in his pants or something?
I don't know. He got arrested for exposure of sexual organs, I think is the exact thing.
Proper term.
The Jays came out and said they're aware of the situation and then they're waiting for the the legal proceedings to go through. I think it gets brushed under the rug a little bit. Reese McGuire is still a damn good catcher, and like this isn't the worst thing that he could have done. Like,
is it worse?
Obviously, yeah, a little bit maybe, but like, it's just like he didn't harm anyone. He didn't do anything like that. So like, if you look around the league at some of the other guys that are still playing, I don't think this.
The alleged incident occurred Friday afternoon in a public parking lot outside of a strip mall in Dunedin when a subject was seen inside a SUV exposing himself. Was he changing? Was he jacking off? Like, this is a big fucking difference.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation. I think we just let it sit until it figures itself out. Because
you know fully, yeah.
Okay. So TMZ is saying allegedly masturbated in parking lot in parked car before arrest. Yo, sometimes you just
can't wait. What are you gonna do?
I don't know if you guys watch Sexual Education on Netflix. No? Yes? No? It's a cute little British show. Basically in the second season, the first episode, the guy discovers like jacking off, and he was just like jacking off everywhere. Like in the shower, he'd take like an hour showers, and then one time he's jacking off in the car at school, and his mom like stepped out, or like at the grocery store, his mom steps out of the car, and then comes back for her purse, and then
no,
yeah, and then that's exactly when he busts on the window and shit. Just like, this reminds me exactly of
Reese McGuire. Yeah. What a weird that's a weird thing to get caught with if you're Reese McGuire.
Cops say McGuire apologized to them profusely for the incident, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. This is really embarrassing. I really shouldn't have been doing that. Thanks, buddy." In the report, cops claim when they got McGuire's phone to try to find his current address, they noticed an extremely pornographic video was playing on the screen. No, at least it's porn. At least, okay, at least it's porn, and it's not like he's whacking off people walking by. Exactly.
True.
Like,
yeah.
I think that's more of a creep.
This could have been so much.
Regardless, it's kind of like a creep thing.
It's weird. It's obviously weird, but this could have been so much worse. And it's what else?
Exactly.
Oh well.
Officers say they asked Reese why he came to the parking lot instead of just going home. McGuire responded that he did not know. It just seemed like a good place. I'm happy I didn't read the sentence before, like you know when like you're reading through an article. I read it like the first time I read it was reactions.
It seemed like a good place.
Oh, Reese. I love Reese McGuire, but oh god, dude. Hey, do what you want, man. You're a millionaire.
Oh, good lord.
It's not it's a weird thing that it's just the story that's the fact that he got caught.
Yeah.
that's the funny part. I don't know.
I feel bad.
Oh my god.
He's into public play. Like,
no, man.
Everyone's got their fetishes.
That's gonna be fun in the dressing room for the rest of the year,
bro. Someone should put like
he's still gonna be on the team, and he's known these guys.
No jerk off zone in the clubhouse and stuff. Like, that's brutal.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. So Kevin Pillar's a Red Sox. That's fucking weird.
Brock Holt trade off. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in. I wrote about it last week. Brock Holt is like the perfect fit for this team, but
it's a really good fit, especially with 26 guys on the roster now.
Yeah, incredible contact hitter. Not great power, which we already have. We don't need more power hitters.
But because it's a juice ball, he can give you 12
in the Rogers Center. Like,
the Rogers Center is not that great for home runs, to be honest.
We've hit a lot.
I think
it might just be the teams.
I think it's league average, to be honest.
Yeah. What was I going to say? He's above average defensively. He plays everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have him, he could start. Like, he could compete for starting positions all around the diamond, and he could come off your bench. He's perfect. and he's a great human being. His kid's absolutely adorable. I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of him and his kid.
Just Eric Sogard the shit out of him.
Yeah. I want him bad.
He's so a negative 0.2 offensive WAR. But I mean, if you look at the slash,
his last 2 seasons though, his offensive WAR was.
If you give me a slash line of 296 average and a 369 on base, I'm fine with you not hitting home runs and being a contact hitter to get on base.
His last 2 seasons, his offensive WAR was 1.6 and 1.1, I think, according to.
I got a negative 0.6.
Baseball Reference, I think it was.
No, Fangraphs. I got it. And so defensive WAR, I have 3.4 last year and 2.3 the year before. And he's still a 1.5 win player, basically, both years. And I, as a utility player, a guy that played in 87 and 109 games, that's well worth it. And it makes all the sense in the world.
It's better than Joe Panic, and that's what you want him to do right now. So, please.
Agreed.
I like Joe Panic. I'd rather have Brock Holt 10 times out of 10.
Gallagher and Chara just got in a fight. Well, not really a fight. And Chara cross-checked Gallagher in the throat.
How the hell did he do that? He had to cross-check him at his knees.
I'll send it to you guys. That is
what is it? I think back to Brock Holt real quick is that he's also been on the Red Sox for 2 of their championships.
Winning environment, yeah. He could bring the
he's played with
the trash can drum to Toronto.
He's played with guys like Ortiz and Pedroia and Shane Victorino for a bit there. Like all these guys that like taught him the way to play. And I don't know. I'd like it.
The rules. Yeah. So 26-man roster, and now all pitchers that come into a game have to face a minimum of 3 batters, which I didn't mind the changing of pitchers, but I agree that it needed to change if you wanted the game to move along. And so I think it's I
don't hate the rule. That's cool. There's a couple of other things that I was just
the playoff changes.
Oh, there was? I didn't see it. Oh, like the 2022 one.
Yeah. So they're adding 2 teams.
Yeah.
So that would mean playoffs? Yeah. So team basically, if you're 500, you would probably make the playoffs. Also, the number 1 seed gets a bye, and the number 2 seed gets to go on national TV and pick who they want to face.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Awesome.
That'd be so much fun.
Awesome.
This is confirmed.
No.
They floated it out there to get reaction. I love it.
I forget which player. Which player went out and there was one player.
Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer went out and he's like, "You don't know what baseball or whatever." He was talking straight at the commissioner. He was going at him.
Sweet. I was in the car with my brother and a friend of his, and they both kind of hated the idea, but they're not baseball players. Whereas it's like, I feel like this is perfect for baseball.
Yes, because more playoff teams. More fucking playoff teams.
Yeah, that, and you have to play 162 games. If you're the best team, you should have some sort of advantage. I was saying, because like, the Nats won the World Series last year after being the wild card team. You don't want to run into that team in the first round or the second round. Sorry, first round, because they win that wild card game, and then you have to play them as the number 1 seed. Maybe
so even in the further playoffs, you get to pick your opponents.
No, maybe but like for the first round.
Yeah, you just get a bye.
If you're that first overall team, you have to you have to play the wildcard team, right?
And then the second seed, they get to pick. It creates a massive amount of intrigue, and then it also creates the story angle that like if you're the team that gets picked, you're like, oh fuck them, they think they can beat us easily.
It's like, a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. It would create feuds and rivalries.
I love that.
I don't know. I think it's awesome. I really think that they should do.
Trevor Bauer doesn't like fun though. He's a piece of shit. So
yeah. Last thing, the Chiefs parade. I don't want to say it sucked.
They had some
so
fun.
I won't put it up. But no. I thought the turnout sucked in comparison to like the Raptors.
Yeah.
For a team that hadn't won the Super Bowl in 50 years.
Yeah, but the Raptors
how was the turnout?
Canada, whereas the Chiefs
Missouri just came off of a celebration of a Stanley Cup. They're still partying, man.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like they don't have as much reach as
I thought it was weak.
Yeah.
It was weak.
But they had fun.
Oh, there was the guy falling out of the tree. There was the car chase. Like
Yeah, the car chase there, the fucking
It
Pat Mahomes
wasn't
catching
there was
beers and slugging them.
did not fall
Hilarious.
short of eventful things that went on.
Pat Mahomes
due to
pausing the
Right.
parade
They have
to
a
go to the
shooting?
fucking.
They didn't have a shooting.
No, they didn't.
Wow.
You're right.
Knock on wood.
Pat
it's
Mahomes
over.
getting off the bus to go to the washroom in the middle of the fucking parade was priceless. Yeah, for like I think it was like 48 seconds he was in the thing for or something like that. They put a timer on him. Hilarious. Gets off the bus, stops the parade, goes to the porta potty, hops back on the bus. Fucking hilarious. Guy was a champ.
Junior, baby.
What's his name? For Travis Kelce. If you watched his speech at the parade, hilarious.
Kind of phony.
Yeah, but that's just him, man. Like that's his personality, and
Yeah,
it's been his personality for like years.
Him and Kittle are trying to be.
They're trying to be yeah, that's fair.
They're trying to just continue.
They both look like that type of guy, though.
Yeah,
like I know, don't judge a book by its cover, but they both have that look, that Delta Chi, Theta, Veta, Beta.
All right, is that it for this week?
I think so.
Alrighty. Well, the Leafs have. Oh,
I'm starting the description. You just lost it.
Alrighty. So that's it for this week. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.